He allegedly did these things, people.
No, I 100%. Me and Michael Jackson, if you want to believe that, we did it together.
Daddy, tell me a story.
And the other week you teased this story, so I'm calling it in.
You're calling in your shit. Okay, do it, lady. So I have a lot of Civil Air Patrol stories. First, I'll give you a brief introduction of what it is. It is, I don't remember when it's founded because I was not that nerd. I did not give a crap about the history of it. I went to this, when I first moved to Athens at 16 years old, that spring, we moved in like October. That spring, the local little airport that they still have did an air show. And my dad's like, hey, that sounds cool. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. And we went out to see cool airplanes and people doing stunts and things that air shows do, right? And while I was there, we noticed teenagers in full military uniforms doing military style things like crowd control and those kind of things for the show.
Is it kind of like ROTC, but for for the Air Force?
Air Force.
Okay.
Yep. Good summary on it. So we asked about it. They were starting a chapter right there in Athens, blah, blah, get information. That's how I met Douglas. And we did that for years. And it's search and rescue. So anytime there's an airplane crash, they use this on TV all the time, but it's real. A plane goes down in the woods somewhere, and then you see this line of people going out searching, whatever. Yeah. That's Civil Air Patrol a lot of times, plus civilians and other stuff. But that's supposedly the spike of it is Civil Air Patrol runs it, and blah blah blah. Then never did any of that. We mostly learned some military things, and if you like with ROTC, if you actually officially do well in it, and you want to go on and have a career in the Air Force, it helps a lot, right? Especially if you get recommendations. But there's tests, there's all kinds of things, there's ranks you can get. I honestly don't remember what rank I achieved. Because at the time I thought my dad went Navy. I really wanted to fly because it's one thing I really probably can't do because I'm 6'7" monster over here. There's not a lot of planes that'll handle me as a pilot. But I thought it's where anyway. Thought I was going to do. So we did do some learning exercises, and they're in Georgia, and I'm sure around the country, but obviously it was just in Georgia. There are lots of different chapters, bases, whatever, and some of them are literally they meet on military base. And we went down to, I want to say, Augusta, so they have for Civil Air Patrol, they have supply bases, and just like regular military, you're supposed to send in the forms, request these things, blah, 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 blah. We did that. We never got anything we requested. We always requested stupid stuff too. Like we wanted the refurbished 6-pack, I think is what they called it, where you fit 3 people in the front, 3 people in the back of the cab, and then have all this troop carrier stuff and whatnot. What would we do to that? We don't know. We just wanted it. And so we didn't have adults guiding us. We thought they were adults. Our parents pretended like they were adults. They were 23 and 25 UGA students. Like that's 23-year-old
legally adults.
Legally, but they're college students messing around with teenagers. Like we raced cars on the airstrip.
It astounds me how wide of a gulf there is in the maturity levels of college students, from uber mature to, are you sure you're an adult?
Yeah. And dude, that's where I think I got the nickname Dozer at first, because I bulldoze over everybody. I was a very angry monkey, and I was bigger than everybody else. Even the adults were like, it was almost TV sitcom hilarious. It's like, if you talk back to me, I just grab you by your shirt and pick you up. Like, you really, didn't actually do that, but it was there. Anyway, we were going to, I think, Augusta, which from Athens is 2.5 hours away. And we had radios, and we had enough people that I volunteered to take my car, which probably shouldn't have done. I mean, it was just not in good condition to make that driving back, but it did it. And one of the adults had their car, which is a little 2-door, so you could squeeze 2 or 3 small teenagers in the back seat, one in the front seat, and that was it. And I had a Datsun station wagon, so I could fit a little bit more people in there, and that'll come into play. And we had radios to talk to each other, and we were going to Augusta specifically for an official radio use class taught by some commander, blah, 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 blah. But this Civil Air Patrol was attached to an official Air Force military base down there, and they had their own section, and it was a supply base. So 2 things happened in this story. One was, as we were planning to leave, they're like, guys, grab everything you can grab, do what you can do. I've always been a mastermind, an evil mastermind, but a mastermind nonetheless. And so I started hatching. It's like, okay, no kidding. We had a big African-American guy in our group named Michael Jackson. And when he told us his name, we're like, really? Your mom named you that? I'm sorry, dude. You're going to get so much, not from us, but you're going to get so much grief in the world because of your name. He's a good guy, but you're obviously not him. It's weird. So Michael was going to be our distraction. And I was going to be the distraction. And then everybody else was going to grab everything they could. And so we start to leave.
So why are you grabbing everything again? Did I miss this, or
because we wanted it? Because we
just
weren't getting supplies. We wanted what they had.
Okay.
I don't know, because the college kids thought it was funny. I don't know. Because I was not the adult. I was the highly influenced 16-year-old who liked to rampage through stuff and get one over on people. Because I love chaos. So they use that. I don't know why we wanted everything we could get our hands on. So we leave.
So you guys are just acting like those teenage kids.
Oh,
You're
we're not
gonna
there
take the
yet.
dog and everything.
Yes, we're not there yet. So we go to leave for it. The college kid thought it was hilarious to leave me in the dust. Like, he took off. So much so that he got out of radio range very fast. This is before GPS. This is barely the days of MapQuest where you could print out directions, which I had done. And I had Douglas as my navigator. We got a little lost trying to get there. Literally, State Patrol. We pulled over somewhere, and State Patrol helped us find where we're supposed to go, and this and that and the other. And I'm an angry person, period, at that point in life. But I'm very angry
at that point in life, or just in general.
Oh, you didn't know me then, man. I get salty. We use the word salty here. I honestly, and you could probably tell a story. I don't remember if you've actually seen me truly angry, but no, it was like the world on fire. Angry then. Like, I can make people laugh, but I was, don't mess with me. I'll run you over. And to the point that we got close enough, as we getting close, I kept trying to radio. Whatever our call sign was to their call sign, whatever our call sign was to their call sign, whatever our call. So the story goes, because I'm on the side of the radio going, can't get anybody mad. No cell phones, right? None of that stuff. This is early 90s, I think. So we finally, the story goes, they're all in class, right? And we're late because we don't know where we're going. We got lost. They started a class without us. And about the time this fancy aunt I'm talking about, they're hurt themselves, patting themselves on the shoulder. Look at me. I'm a military guy. I could wrestle you like nothing. Anyway, about the time all hooty tooty guy got up there and was giving all the rules of radio, and it goes click. He turns the radio on. You hear us calling the call sign. And then the college guys were in the class with the other 2 people, and their eyes they got real big, like, oh no. Because we kept trying to raise them. And the guy was like, and he called back on the radio. I'm like, are you with, Banks is one of the last names. I can't remember the other guy's last name. Are you with Banks and so-so? And he's like, yes, sir. It's like, we're about to be there. And you tell them I'm going to beep them up on the radio. and he's like, don't use language like that. I went, beep you too. And I cut off the radio. And we get there, and he pulled the adult thing they tried to pull, where he met me out at the car and stood over my door before I could get out, trying to dress me down. I'm like, give me a second. And he's like, and he stepped back, and I came out of the car, and I kept coming out of the car, and I kept coming out of the car until now he's looking up at me. He goes, let's just go to class. Like, yeah, that's what I thought. And because those adults left us in the dust, and you want to get mad because I said a 4-letter swear word on your stupid radio, where I'm coming to class to learn how to use in the first place. Don't get me angry. You don't like me when I'm angry. So we do this class. I remember nothing about it. But I think part of it was because it was supply based. Everybody was coming in for this class. Whoever's coming in, they had said there are surplus supplies. So you can, and they're anticipating, oh, you might get a shirt, Joe, and I might take some dress pants, and we might get a little, some paperwork for the base. They didn't know what was coming. They assigned, how tall is Malachi right now?
5'3".
Okay, that's about right. They assigned Malachi to guard me in the surplus room. So then it became, I'm going to be the distraction. Everybody else steal what you can. And I got this guy, and I'm going through, I'm like, what's in this bucket? I'm dumping it out, and like, oh, this is crap. And I throw it across. And this little Malachi didn't know what to do. He's a kid, right? He's not an adult. He's a kid. He's like, but I outrank him. Like, I just ignored him. I just kept tearing through. It felt like 2 minutes. It felt fast. I'm just doing my thing. I'm enjoying terrorizing this kid, just throwing things around, looking stuff. I look around, all my team's gone, like gone. And
you distracted him too well.
Yeah, no, they are gone. And so I go, oh, I guess I gotta go find my commander. And the kid didn't even notice. Like, I couldn't tell what was going on, but I knew they took a bunch of stuff. Like, I did my job. I said, I gotta go find my team or whatever. Oh, thank God, whatever, get out of here. And I leave, and I go to the door, and Doug set my car, and he loves fueling me too. And so he hits the top of the car like a TV show, like, let's go. I'm like, oh, shoot. I start running my car. I jump in, crank it up, and I take off, and I'm going out of the base. And after we get out of the base, then I look back to see if I had everybody I was supposed to have with me. That's what I noticed. This station wagon, you can't see out the back window because they have piled it full of everything that was not bolted down was in my car, including an outdoor, like 5-foot by 4-foot metal sign that said, welcome to whatever the name of this base is, Civil Air Patrol Unit 69 or whatever. And like, this was the best day of my life. And we get back to the base, and the other car with the adults, they're like, oh, yeah, we got one over. We took some uniform pants we weren't supposed to have. We got some shirts. Like, oh, yeah? Come here. Pop the hatch. And they're like, oh, no, we're going to jail. I don't know how they arranged to get that sign back without getting into a load of trouble. We kept most of the stuff we stole. I like a huge American flag that we ended up flying outside the room we met in. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It appeared in my car, and we smoked out of there as fast as we could. I think I even looked in the rearview mirror because I lived TV. That was my life as a teenager. I was a TV action star. And so I looked at the mirror, and it's like one of those, the kid comes out of the door and looks at us all confused and shakes his head and goes back in type of deal. To this day, I don't know what happened to that, but I ended up getting, I think, a pair of boots out of it, some shirts. I don't know, man. It was stuff we couldn't even use, but yeah. A sign that says, welcome to Polk Air Force Base, Civil Air Patrol Unit 67 or whatever. I don't know.
Taking all the things.
Yeah.
Oh, I had some friends that they had a habit, they had a compulsion. I don't know. They would steal signs from highway signs, left, right,
Okay.
up and down, and I'm just like, okay, why? And they just they'd hang them up on their wall, but I'm like, oh, okay.
I've seen that. Somebody had a stop sign. I get if it has I wouldn't still to this day, even as a teenager, like, okay, I get why it's funny, but I wouldn't do it. But if it has a funny name on the street sign or something, people do that. There's one, I cannot remember what it is. It sounds dirty, and they cannot keep the sign up because people keep stealing it.
Yeah.
But,
There's one stretch of highway in, I think it was Mississippi where I was at, where the mile marker 420 kept getting stolen.
Yeah, stuff like that, and in the 80s and 90s, that wasn't a thing. So for someone to have a full-on action, we stole some stop signs. We did that too. They weren't.
Those signs are a lot bigger than you think.
They really are. Don't know what anybody. I think one of the college kids took one home and put it up on his wall in his apartment, because in the early 90s you didn't have these things. So if you walked into somebody's apartment, like, is that a stop sign on your wall? Yeah. Craziness, Joe. Crazy. I believe that statute of limitations is absolutely passed. I'm good.
Hopefully. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
He allegedly did these things, people.
No, I 100%. Me and Michael Jackson, if you want to believe that, we did it together.